Kendra Cook. I'm a marriage and family therapist trainee at Azusa Pacific University. I'm currently under supervision with Hillary Catley, a licensed marriage and family therapist. How would you like me to address you?
Jonathan's fine.
Okay. Well, Jonathan, there's a few things I wanted to go over with you before we get started. With few exceptions, anything that you say within this session will remain confidential and within the clinic. However, I am a mandated reporter within the state of California. So earlier you signed some paperwork just informing you about these exceptions to confidentiality, and I'm going to go over these exceptions with you. If you were to report to me suspected child abuse in any of its forms, I would need to report this to the proper authorities. Also, if you were to tell me that you wanted to harm yourself or anybody else, I would need to report that. And if you report to me any suspected abuse of an elder or dependent adult, this is something I would need to report also. So do you have any questions about my duty to report?
No.
Okay. Well, let's get started. What brought you here today?
Well, I've been, for a while now, experiencing a lot of anxiety. And I guess I've always been kind of an anxious person a little bit, sort of an introvert. I don't really, especially in large groups, things like that. I'm pretty quiet, but within the last few years, I've had a job that requires me to talk in front of people often, several times a week, and I thought that would help me get over it quite a bit, but I still have a lot of anxiety before I have to talk in front of people or. Just talking in front of people and just this knot in my stomach, and I find myself saying no to opportunities that other people would probably jump at because of the anxiety, because of that, just that fear, I guess.
Okay, so I hear you saying that typically you're a very anxious person normally all around, but certain situations seem to provoke that anxiety within you a little bit more than usual. I heard you mention that you sometimes pass up maybe opportunities that other people might take advantage of, and this is due to your anxiety, that's why you pass it up?
Yeah, it's within a ministry setting, within a church setting, and so sometimes I'll have the opportunity to teach or even like preach a message or something like that, and I found myself passing up those types of opportunities just because feeling unsure about myself, and I noticed that it went away for a while. Like I wasn't noticing that that fear and stuff was happening so much, and then probably within the last few months, it's kind of resurfaced.
When you noticed that feeling wasn't there, were you still engaged in the same kind of activities?
Yeah.
You were. What do you think was different within you that kept that anxiety at bay?
I think part of it was the place that I was at. I was pretty comfortable. I had been there for a few years. I had a chance to get to know the people, and so I think there was some more. I was more comfortable, and I'm the type of person that it takes kind of a while to warm up to a certain setting. But once I'm warmed up, that anxiety tends to drop. But I recently started working somewhere else, which was about 5 months ago, and I noticed that that anxiety ever since then has kind of been on the rise a little bit.
Okay, so this is a fairly recent job.
Mm-hmm.
How long were you at your previous?
I was there for about 5 years.
Can you recall how long it took you to start getting that comfortable feeling?
Oh, it took a while just because I forced myself to do things and would act comfortable when I really wasn't. But it took me probably a good year to year and a half to really get comfortable where I didn't feel like I had to act. I felt more confident, I guess.
Did you find yourself then, at your previous employment, passing up opportunities initially?
Yes, yes. I found myself doing that all throughout probably throughout the 5 years, but not so much towards the end as I was doing in the beginning.
Okay. Are there instances in your life besides employment where you find yourself passing up on things that maybe you want to do, but that anxiety is keeping you from it?
Sometimes socially, like somebody invites me somewhere, and if I know there's going to be a lot of people there that I don't know, usually I'll probably choose to stay home or something like that.
After you make a decision like that to stay home, how do you feel afterwards? Is the anxiety go away, you're relieved, or do you kind of feel guilt, regret? How does that feel for you?
Sometimes I feel regret. Sometimes I feel like, why am I choosing to allow this to keep me from meeting new people, experiencing different things in life, and but at the same time I feel relieved. Like I don't have to worry, I don't have to put on a facade, or I don't have to pretend to be somebody I'm not, or so it's I feel kind of both. I don't know if that makes sense.
Absolutely, it's understandable. I hear you saying that these opportunities, anxiety keeps you from doing it, and it's understandable that anxiety you feel for it to recede after you say no. It's a wave of relief to know you don't have to engage in that activity.
Mm-hmm.
But it sounds like you actually value going out and meeting new people, and this anxiety is keeping you from doing that. And I'm wondering how that makes you feel about yourself.
Well, makes me feel like, I don't know if I can put it into words, but it feels like I know I should be doing this, and I feel a little bit bad because I don't want to. Like, there's some pressure there. Like, I should be able to do this, and I should want to meet new people. I should want to get up and share in front of people and things like that, especially with that being part of my job.
Why do you feel that you should?
I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like I should be over it by now. I've been doing this for a while. I know about it, and because I know about it, I feel like I should be able to get over it.
So all this many years, your whole life of dealing with this type of anxiety, it's just something you feel it should have been gone by now.
Yeah.
It sounds, when you were talking about your previous employment, you found ways to cope and to deal, and in the end it worked out. It was a long journey for you, but it's not like you found some ways. And I wonder, at your current position, are you doing those things that you used to do?
I try to. I try to do that. But some days are better than others. Some days I feel more confident than others. But it's not so much the nervousness before, but it's how it makes me feel as I'm doing up in front of people. It makes me feel less confident, and so I am super aware of people looking at me, super aware of just what I'm saying, and causes me to stumble over words and not really clearly get out what I'm wanting to say.
So if you could wave your little magic wand and you didn't have this problem and you felt confident, how would that look and feel to you?
How would it feel? I guess I wouldn't be so nervous. I don't want to lose that little bit of fear, I guess, because I want to be concerned with what I'm about to say and want to make sure that it gets through to people. But at the same time, I would be confident in what I have to say, and that people want to hear that, and I would be able to articulate what I'm wanting to say.
Okay. I heard you bring up the word fear.
Mhm.
Can you talk to me a little bit more about that fear?
I've thought about it a little bit, and I think part of it is just a fear of what people think, what they're thinking about me, what they're thinking about what I'm saying. Are they accepting me? Are they judging me? What's going through their heads? And I think that limits kind of what I do and what I don't do, and I think that causes some of that. Me to get anxious.
Okay. If you don't mind me asking you, how's your social support system?
I'm the type of person who generally has a few close friends, maybe 5 close friends who, outside of work and church and stuff like that, will hang out a few times a week. And right now, since I've moved, it's shrunk because of new location, new job. So it's 2 or 3 people right now that I hang out with several times a week.
Okay. I hear you saying how much you value that sense of confidence, and you'd really like to have that, and it's causing you a great deal of anxiety to feel like you're not measuring up to that level of confidence that you want.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder if maybe that makes you feel some sense of failure at all?
Yeah, a little bit, because like I said, I feel like I should be over it by now. Like I should be, I've done it so many times that why does it still bother me? Why does it still limit me? Why does it still keep me kind of trapped in my mind? It's just stuck in that place of that fear of what people are thinking so much.
Does your family, do you have any history of anxiety in your family?
My sister's kind of an anxious person, but I think that's somewhat, she's just always been kind of a little bit high-strung.
So just you and your sister seem to have...
Yeah, as far as I know, my mom probably worried. She was a single mom, so I'm sure she worried quite a bit, raising us and having to work and provide for us and all those different things. And so she's probably worried in the past as well. I'm sure she's dealt with it to some extent, but I don't know exactly what that extent is.
Okay. Do you feel that your anxiety is limiting you in other areas of your life besides socially and work?
Sure. At school, depending on what class it is, and this has been true as far back as I can remember when it comes to school. I'll be thinking and engaging with what's being taught, and I'll have questions, but I won't raise my hand because I don't want to draw attention or maybe add to a discussion. But I won't do it because I don't really want to put stuff out there,
It's got to be quite a turmoil within yourself to feel like you can't, but feel that you want to and that you need to.
Yeah, sometimes.
It's got to be a big struggle, I can
Yeah,
imagine.
and then wondering what teachers are thinking because this person's quiet, are they here, are they not here,
It sounds like you value other people's thoughts and opinions of you a lot.
Mm-hmm. Probably too much.
Do you think so?
I do.
Despite the anxiety that you feel,